Ramsey sees red and a point apiece in South London. Was the red card the reason for the drop of 3 points? We will discuss. Welcome back to Where Addicts Walk with myself, Luke, and alongside me today we've got Platty, Alan, Dave, and Steve. So, Steve, so close to 3 points.
So close. And until the red card, I think the red card was the changing point in the game. Up until then, I didn't think Millwall offered too much beyond a bit of hustle and bustle at the back. But I didn't see us conceding. And then a moment of madness from Ramsey. He's been now with him. I think it's fair to say he's been pretty solid every week ever since he's joined. But that you can't do that. He let the side down yesterday, and it's not in his nature to do that. So we'll give him it. But it was really poor decision making that's cost us 2 points. Yeah.
We'll dissect into Ramsey's red card and the type of was it because of the occasion, etc. But Dave, was it a tough result to take in the end after the way you sort of performed?
Yeah, well, it was disappointing. I think in the first half, we were all over them really, and I think all credit to Carey, who I thought was man of the match. He was quite intelligent because what he did is he dropped back deep from his number 10 role, and he really got involved in the game. And to be fair, he really deserved his goal. He brought other players into the game. And I think he sort of really, his intelligence changed the way we play because he brought in both wingers. TC had a good game. And also Raptor, even, shot on target. Maybe Raptor's decision making was a little bit out on a couple of things, but, being critical. But before the game, I sat back and thought, I'd take a 1-1 back against Millwall. They're established team in the playoffs again last season, like a result against Bristol City. And obviously, being a local derby, everyone was up for it. So, all in all, it's disappointing. But, on reflection, again, as we say every week, we're creating chances where we're not out of our depth at all in this league. And, it's just going to come to a point when we hopefully, stars align and we meet a team that we can start, banging some goals in against.
Yeah, definitely. Let's look at individuals playing throughout the game. I think Kelman had a good game up there on up top.
Yeah, I think he did. Particularly first half, I think Kelman was very good. He put a lot of effort in. He certainly was really playing for the shirt. And I think, across the team, everybody played for the shirt. I think the frustrating thing is, and it's not really been critical of him, but we have struggled in probably every game to get a finish. And Carey's goal was great, but Kelman individually, yes, did well. But I think we're all probably at a point, other than the QPR game, we've played well every single game, whichever way you look at it. And I think the Leicester game, for instance, it was a great defeat for us. We played brilliantly, but unfortunately we lost to a worldly. We've got to start turning that around, otherwise we will find ourselves, despite playing really, really well, in a bit of a difficult situation. So, I thought Kelman was good yesterday. A couple of other individuals, has already been said. Carey, outstanding. I really think he was. TC, I've been a bit critical of TC at times, but yesterday I think he was really on it for most of the game. Every time he got the ball, he wanted to take it at them. So, a number of really good points came out, but ultimately my thinking now is going, we've got to turn these good performances into 3 points.
Yeah, very good point. What do you think, Alan? I think TC had probably his best game this season.
Went too bad against Leicester last week. I don't know whether it was just an off day for him. I know he got a little bit of criticism from the fans, but no, yesterday he was proper on form. Very good.
Yeah. I think having a player like that, a bit of a difference maker, is important, and I think confidence, them sort of players, Steve, they play off confidence, don't they? Them sort of attacking wide players.
Yeah, I mean, he's when the ball's at his strength is when the ball's at his feet and he's running at people. He scares defenses at all levels, and I think he probably could even scare defenses at the Premier League level. His biggest letdown is his final product. He doesn't score the goals he should. For me, he's not an attack. He's not a forward. He's a winger, and we should use him as such. But he just, when he's running with the ball, great. Sometimes his delivery is not so on it, and that's my biggest criticism. When I saw the lineup yesterday, and it's TC and Kelman up front, I can't say I was thrilled with that. I thought we needed someone bigger, and I mean, I still don't know what Tanto's got to do to actually get in. He must have said something horrible to Jones at some point to not be a chance. But to me, I think there needs to be a bit more strength up top. Maybe Godden will bring something a bit more robust when he comes back. But a Leeburn or a Tanto could have done something. But full credit to TC. He had his better game in the league, but we need to start seeing some goals from not just him, from the whole front line.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's get into Ramsey's red card. I know Steve touched on it, but Dave, what do you think? Was it, like I said, out of character? What do you think it was because of the game? Do you think it was the environment, South London derby?
Well, he's been Mr. Consistency. You know, he's been solid. Even in the game, he made 2 blocks, which he's very talented at doing. You know, I remember going back to the game against Wickham in the player final where he did those double blocks. Again, he did it yesterday and kept us in the game at that stage. And I just think, I think it's just, he knows it. You know, he's already admitted on social media, you know, he's sorry about it, but it's just a sheer rush of blood. Because if you look back at the full attack, he made a sliding tackle and won the ball, but the ball didn't go out, and Millwall player still retained the ball, and then he went again. And any player at that, even at that level, is going to have that rush of blood and do it. So, you know, yeah, obviously we can sit back now and say he shouldn't have even made that challenge. Would it have resulted in a goal scoring opportunity? We don't know, but it didn't look like it was going to. And I think, ultimately that's changed the result because, you know, whether Jones would have put a more attacking line on to finish the game off, I don't know. But, you know, we just got caught out with having one less player.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Do you think the red card was the reason why you dropped a couple of points?
I don't know if it was the reason. It clearly contributed it, and I agree that, you know, he has Ramsey's been consistent all the way through. So I wouldn't blame him for it. It was one of those things. He's come out and put his hand up, and it's fair enough. It's unfortunate. No one liked to see it. Was it the sole reason? I don't know. You could pull apart that goal and say, why was he on his own around the penalty spot to take the final shot? There was a bit of lack of tracking, wasn't there? Coventry looked very fed up, and I think Doherty held his head. So it obviously contributed. You've got one less player on the park. It means you've got a change of formation. You bring Burke in. I don't recall where Burke was in the situation, whether he should have been more involved. But if there was anything to say, the player who scored had no one on him around about the penalty spot. And ordinarily, we are good in that area and have been defensively in the last 12, 18 months. So you've got to say it contributed, but was it because of that? Was it because of midfield weren't picking up their man come into the box? I don't know. It has to have contributed purely because it changed things, perhaps not in a way that Jones wanted it to.
Yeah, that's very, very good points. I think you're looking at the game as a whole, Alan. I think 2 teams, you've got Charlton played a certain type of way and Millwall played a certain type of way. I don't know about you, but I would much prefer to be a fan of the way Charlton play football rather than Millwall. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously that's probably the first time I think I've ever watched Millwall, because obviously we've not played them in ages, and I was surprised at how negative they were. It was a London derby. I was expecting a bit more fight, especially from their fans. Obviously, noise-wise, they didn't contribute absolutely nothing until obviously they got the goal. They got a lot of injuries, but they kept hitting the front 2 all the time. And I thought, if anyone ever moans about Nathan Jones hitting the long balls, we're playing Barcelona football compared to what they were. You know what I mean? It was awful. But on the Ramsey thing, my point of view, I think he's so used to being top dog in League One and used to the players and the quality of players, and even in the way we went about the game, we had the ball. When we had the ball, we haven't got that extra second. You don't get that, and when we're on attack, Carey lost it once, time or Apter, and I just think Kane's now coming up to a different standard of player, where better quality, and for the actual red card itself, I think he didn't know where the ball was. He took the tackle in, he got it in behind, he stood up. I don't know if he thought it went out for a throw, but he didn't know where the ball was, and all of a sudden the bloke's away with the ball, and unfortunately, I don't know, you just can't tackle from behind like that ever on a yellow card. So what you're doing, man, but I agree.
It's a bit of Russian blood, one of the moments, isn't it? You're trying to do everything for the team, for the shirt, especially in the South London derby. Right, well, we've all had to go through to be fair, England were all right in the second game in the international break, but we've all gone through a bit of a boring international break. Thankfully, club football is back. So we've got a bit of a discussion I want to have today, boys. So would we rather, so Steve, we'll start with you, mate. Would you rather Charlton win the Premier League or England win the World Cup? What are you choosing?
Oh, I'm going club in this. It's Charlton to win the Premier League or every single day of the week. And to be honest, I'd have Charlton finishing top 4 over England winning the World Cup. And, I love the World Cup when it comes around. I love the European Championships come around, but I mean the qualifiers are just a dead rubber every time. And even though we make it hard work, it's almost like we're trying to make them interesting by making Andorra look good. It's club all the time for me. I'd much rather just stick with league football.
What about you, Dave? Would you want to see Charlton lift the trophy or England?
Well, you support your club, don't you? At the end of the day, there'd be nothing better than watching your club win the Premier League. Obviously, like everyone else, we'd love to see England do it, but it would. In reality, are we going to do a Leicester? I think it's going to be difficult now with the amount of money that's in the game. But obviously, and to be fair, I think England looked pretty good. Although, it was a lot of our fringe players against Serbia. I thought, it was very encouraging. And although it is only a qualifier, Serbia are a good team, and we outfoxed them with some good individual performances. Lovely to see a young player who goes under the radar like Anderson get through and actually make a difference.
Yeah, I think Anderson was class. What about you, Platty? I don't think you probably caught much of the international break. I was partying in Ibiza, but what about you? What would you choose? Would you choose Charlton winning the Prem or England lifting the famous trophy?
Charlton winning the Prem, but I'll be like Steve. In fact, I'll be even more generous and say Charlton getting into Europe in my lifetime. So I guess that's a top 6 probably.
So you can go to Ibiza again.
Yeah, I'll go to Ibiza. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I want to be absolutely. Well, I guess it'd be Mallorca, wouldn't it? Because Parma playing the league, don't they? So, I would love to go into Europe with Charlton ahead of England winning the World Cup. So that gives us whatever place it is, 6 or 8 or whatever cup it is. I don't even care if it's a conference. It'd be great. Wouldn't it be great to have to find a flight to go to Slovenia and then get a 100-mile drive into the mountains to play in a ground no bigger than Welling United? But I'd still do it.
Yeah,
we'd probably get Northern Ireland.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, what about you, Alan? Are you going to go different, or are you back in the Reds to win the Premier League?
No, I'll bet that. I'll take just 3 points off Millwall. That'll do. 3 points off Millwall.
Oh, love it, boys. Love it. Right, we are now going on to Tweet of the Week. And it is... it kind of sticks to what you've a few boys have mentioned before. So it's about if we stick together, the results will soon match the performance. So, Alan, I'm going to throw this one to you. What do you think is needed to get from a good performance to start winning the games more regularly?
Just finishing, creating chances. I mean, talking to the people around me yesterday, I think now in the Championship we're going to have to score 2 goals to get a win now. And unfortunately, all the time it was 1-0. We're very comfortable. You're always biting your nails, thinking we've got to get our second goal. Got to get the second goal. And yesterday unfolded as how it was, and it bites you in the bum when you don't get that second goal. I think if we did get the second goal, we go 2-0 up, we will grind out every single result. But yeah, it's just basically getting that second goal, finishing.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? What's the small margins that need to change to sort of start picking up 3 points more regularly?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Alan. It's that final third of the pitch that we just need to be more clinical in. We've stepped up. We all wanted to be up in this division, and we've got to show that we want to be in this division as a club. And we've got to be taking those chances when they're presented to us. We're making the right opportunities. The midfield is doing a great job to carve out some opportunities. We just need to start putting the ball in the back of the net on a consistent basis. And hopefully once we find our groove with that, then we can start picking some teams off, because we do look like we belong in this division at a bare minimum, and that is a bare minimum. We should be pushing with the quality we've got. We could be pushing for the higher reaches of this division, but this season let's just solidify our place. Let's keep ourselves in there, and just finish off a few more of those chances.
Yeah, love it. I think that's a great way to finish. We belong at this level, more than belong at this level, and I think the game against Millwall just gone, I think that shows, because in terms of the football, I think the Addicts definitely were the better team on the day. So thank you boys, thank you for watching. Please like and